Testing. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 4, and we're in and we're here. And I just have to delete all this, aren't I? Because it's not cool. But anyway, welcome everyone to the On and Off Topic podcast, where I, your great Dr. Road, diagnoses what is wrong with the world. If you would like to have a seat in my therapy chair, I guess the nice therapeutic couch, then you can talk to my secretary. One of those, I don't remember, but Secretary Hydra. He's the official secretary with the majestic locks. He's very hard to miss. Anyway, we have a great big amount of things to talk about today. First of all, we got the Blitz, a little bit of Chiefs news that's pretty interesting. Go over some minor WWE stuff. A lot of racing news happened, and there's some upcoming stuff we got to look forward to. And in the backlot. Ooh, the backlot. So many things. A lot of actors, a lot of dead actors we got to go over, which is always a shame. But also the Project Hail Mary movie. My goodness, that thing is just, it's incredibly good, and I can't wait to discuss that in further detail. And then we got some other talks about other stuff later. But anyway, Austin, are you excited being alive? Not with that attitude. It should make you feel much happier to be alive, knowing that the Chiefs and Travis Kelce did come to an agreement to be signed to the team. But it's a very strange deal that has many fans freaking out. Most people didn't want Kelce to be signed to more than a $15 million one-year deal. Like, that was like the max. Because Kelce has been contemplating retirement for like 2 years now. There was even a rumor he would retire after Super Bowl 58 so that he could retire with his brother the same year, so they could both get into the Hall of Fame at the same time. But that didn't happen, obviously. Yes, also be married. But he didn't retire after Super Bowl 59 because, well, he didn't retire after 58 because he wanted the three-peat. He didn't retire after 59 because he didn't want his legacy to be, a super embarrassing Super Bowl loss. And he didn't retire this year because I guess he didn't want his legacy to be a really embarrassing 6-11 season. I guess the only way he's going to retire at this point is a Super Bowl. That's the only thing that's going to retire this guy.
It is a law by all men. You do not go out on a loss. You do not turn the game off on a loss. You have to get
Is that why you're still alive? Because all you've ever done is lose?
Basically. That's a pretty good summary, yeah.
All right, I get you. But yeah, for some reason, many fans got very concerned because Kelce was just signed to a 3-year deal, a 3-year $56 or $58 million deal. It was insane. That averages out to $18 million per year, which is quite a bit more than what most fans were expecting. But the way this deal balances out in the way it pays the money over the years is incredibly strange. So for this first year, it's basically just the 1-year deal that we already talked about. $15 million max, $12 million as the base guaranteed, and then $15 million with the incentives if you hit those. But after that, you have these 2 years. They seem very low, but I think it's between 26 and 27. You have this $40 million poison pill, just so to speak. I don't even know exactly how it works. It's very complicated, legal jargon, I guess. But what I do understand is that basically this is a 3-year deal that is really a 1-year deal, functions very well as a 1-year, and that it's very unlikely that even if he continued playing for 2 more years, it would be under this deal. And at the very least, even if he does retire after this season, it's only $12 million to $15 million. That other 40-something million, you're not going to see that paid out this season, or possibly at all, depending on when he retires. He might say, hey, I'm good after this season. Give it one more try now that we have a better offensive identity with Eric Bieniemy in here. And I think that's part of a lot of it, because Eric Bieniemy back as the offensive coordinator is going to give that offense such a better identity, an offense that knows how to run the ball and not be weak and easily picked apart by other defenders in the NFL, which became one of the Chiefs' biggest problems, was that their offense was predictable and easy to take care of. No one was afraid of them because they never ran well. But on the subject of not running, Mahomes is clearly not going to be running yet after his horrible ACL-LCL tear. However, it seems that his rehab is going well. He posted a video of him, dropping back and throwing some passes. He has like this leg thing on his left leg to probably help him stand and whatnot. But it's good. It's good to see that after like just about 3 months, maybe 4 months after this injury and surgery, that he's already back on it. He's already getting back to throwing the ball, just furiously attacking that rehab. It gives me more confidence that he'll be ready for week one and that he won't be horrible going into week one. I don't know. It's good to see. You're glad to see it.
It would probably be wise from the hold on.
Would you like to see Justin? Look, if you don't understand, if your option is Patrick Mahomes or Justin Fields, you're putting out Patrick Mahomes, even if he's not ready. I do not want to put out Justin Fields on that O-line.
Brain and injury, not ready to be.
I know. That's why we should have gotten Joe Flacco.
Would you like to see Mahomes retire next year? Because
that's why we should have gotten Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was an excellent backup QB for the Bengals. And the Bengals just re-signed him because no one thought he was a good choice. If we had signed Flacco, well, we could have had so much more certainty. Or even Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is a terribly underrated backup. I think he's probably a top 10 backup in the NFL, and he's still a free agent. So I don't know why we didn't get either of those guys, because I would have preferred them more than trading for Justin Fields, trading draft capital that we probably don't have. But either way, that's happening. And it's all right. It's not the end of the world. And hopefully the draft will make us feel better about the situation the Chiefs are in, needing to replenish their defense and on all levels, and probably get some new offensive weapons as well. But once again, we'll talk about the draft more when it's time. And speaking of the draft, do you, yes you, want to see a very special podcasting episode? Because even Austin doesn't know this, but my thought here, now hear me out, instead of our normal podcast episode on Friday, on the draft weekend, we live stream on the Thursday of draft night, where we're usually recording anyway, and we live stream the draft reactions, and we can talk about stuff between draft selections because they have 10 minutes on the clock. What do you think?
Maybe.
That's a yes. You hear that, everyone? He said yes.
There won't be an F1 race that weekend. We get a month-long breakout for Suzuka this weekend.
So yes, it's a yes, and we're going to do it. It's going to be great. Live stream of the NFL draft, April 23rd, I think. Don't miss it. It's gonna be incredible. Only on YouTube. So I don't know how to stream it anywhere else. Austin, take us to the paddock. Is that like up? Is that like a special box?
The paddock is down.
Take us down to the paddock in the basement.
Okay, so we've got a decent bit of racing news. I apologize, I haven't really done much NASCAR watching.
No one cares about the NASCAR. Let's talk about Max Verstappen's team Ferrarying him at the Nürburgring race.
Anyway, so yes, we got a couple different updates with Verstappen Racing and an incident that occurred there. Max, as you all should know, had participated in the NLS Series 2.
The Nürburgring.
The Northlight.
The Northlights.
It was a 4-hour-long race, 4 stints. They switched out each hour, Max starting and finishing the race. He had got pole in the qualifying session after only 1 lap. That's all it took him to get pole, which is absolutely insane. He had some good battles. Did end up losing the first for a little bit before regaining it, fighting an Audi. And unfortunately, even though he had won by a whole minute, Verstappen Racing was disqualified from their win due to the fact that they used 7 sets of tires instead of 6.
And who knew that was a rule?
Every racing series has a tire set limit.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yep. So, if you remember watching the F1 movie when they were like, so because we didn't participate in qualifying, we have an extra set of fresh tires to use. Do you remember that scene?
Sure. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll just say I remember it because I'm obviously an X1 expert, evidenced by this amazing F1 car that I have that you don't.
Teams are only permitted at that race specifically 6 sets of tires, they used 7.
6.
And yeah, it was very disappointing to see. But Max looked very happy at the end of the race, and he was
Of course he was happy because he
excited.
won and it was disqualified. I imagine he was very unhappy after that. Probably more unhappy than he was with
And
F1.
recently, there have actually been pictures of Verstappen racing in Japan in the GT3 car. Let me double check. Yeah, the Nissan GT 500. He's been racing in Japan while waiting for Suzuka. Also, speaking of which, we have our F1 race coming up, Suzuka. And
Suzuka, yes.
the Japanese Grand Prix is going to be 56 laps. Um, Sunday, or it'll be Sunday morning or Saturday night, depending on which time zone you live in. For us, it's going to be at midnight.
Sounds like it'll be really, really fun to watch, doesn't it?
I might be able to password share with you. We'll see.
Yes! Password sharing is tight!
Uh,
Finally! He's not being
also, I
greedy.
do
he's being-
apologize for being slow. I'm tired. It is late while we were recording.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
just you got to turn up your energy. Turn up your power.
So we have 3 different new liveries specifically for this race. We have Mercedes coming in with a wolf on their front wing, which looks cringy as heck, along with all the
liked it.
merchandise they've been. And
I
it
just
gives
don't
us
like
a
their
lot of
cost.
that one man,
Like their-
what one man
What is
Wolfpack Lance Stroll racing team.
I just don't
It's
love
just
like their drivers'
cringy.
uniforms. Those ones just look.
They look so
Lame.
weird. We also have Racing Bulls. That livery is so clean.
It's
The
pretty
Red
cool.
Bull, the white and the red, and the Japanese characters. Oh my god.
But the
It looks so
Godzilla
good.
livery in honor of
And the hot Godzilla.
the greatest kaiju ever made. He's better than Kong, and he's got better movies than Kong, but no one ever talks about that. And you know what else? Do you know what else, Austin? Godzilla Minus Zero is coming out this year, and I'm pretty excited.
I do remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Haas has signed a contract with a sponsorship and partnership from the official Godzilla branding and whatever. And so for the Japanese Grand Prix, the home of Godzilla, where he originally came from, yada yada. They have a special livery. It looks so clean, so beautiful. I love it. It looks great. The red, white, black with the Godzilla on the back over the engine, great. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Mercedes is under investigation for their wing.
Oh yes,
It is
because it's the open and the close.
when in the opening and the closing, it's supposed to take 400ths of a second to open and 400ths of a second to close. Mercedes-AMG has it opening at 400ths of a second, but it's closing at 800ths of a second, which is twice as long as it should be, giving them
Very
a small,
suspicious.
tiny boost. But honestly, there's so much more about that car that needs to be put under investigation first.
Investigate, DQ them, and give Max the victories as recompense.
I'm going to hope that we continue the Max Verstappen 4-year win streak at Suzuka, but it's not looking likely.
Well, you never know. Maybe
I
he's gonna
think
feel,
I think
he's gonna
George
feel the
Russell's
power.
going to win this race.
Assuming his car isn't disqualified.
We will see what happens with Mercedes. If it's not a Mercedes, it's going to be a Ferrari. That's just how you look at the testing in the 2 last Grand Prix.
I don't like that. I don't like that. You know I don't like that. Every year
Unless
is
Red Bull
Verstappen's
can
year.
fix.
Every year
Red
must
Bull
be
is
Verstappen's
getting
year.
their first upgrade in Suzuka. And then, of course, there will be the meeting to see whether or not the regulations need to be fixed after
Because a
Suzuka.
lot of things are going to
Given-
change after Japan, possibly.
And after because of the war going on, the Bahrain and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix will not be happening, so it'll be given a month between Suzuka and Miami for teams to fix cars, upgrade cars, fix strategy, whatever they need to do.
Precisely. That's more than enough time.
That's about it.
All right, perfect. Now let's step into the ring temporarily for an ever so slight minute. We shall talk about the biggest matchup that you ever did see. It was set up on SmackDown last week. Jelly Roll's going to fight Kit Wilson.
Actually?
Yeah? Get that. Yeah, actually. You know how Jelly Roll's lost all that weight, right?
I mean, I saw a picture of it, but I thought that was like AI or something.
No, he lost it because, I don't know, ever since last year or so, he's been into being on the WWE, not like as a professional wrestler, but like as he sometimes shows up and I guess fights people. He went through like their training regimen or something, like one of their training courses, and helped him lose his weight. And now, like he is much thinner, so that's good. And then Kit Wilson, I know that basically these are all like actors and
Okay.
stunt people, but Kit Wilson, he makes me so mad. Like I'm sure he's just playing a part, but I am so glad when he gets knocked out. Like Oba Femi, he took Kit and just like slammed him on the ground after his horrible poetry. Because Kit Wilson's, he's all like, the modern man. He tells you about your toxic masculinity. You're toxic. That's what he does. And and he's been saying that Jelly Roll is toxic, but unlike Obafemi, Jelly Roll is not able to just grab Kit Wilson like a bale of hay and just toss him. So yeah, Jelly Roll's got a fight with Kit this Friday night. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a SmackDown. I'm gonna be smacking about. I hope it's a good fight. So yeah, tune in to SmackDown so you can see Jelly Roll fight Kit Wilson. Now that's the fight that everyone really wanted to see. Isn't that right, Austin?
I didn't even know that was going on, but yeah, honestly, I just want to see Jelly Roll fight. That sounds so interesting.
Exactly. That's probably gonna lead with Kit Wilson saying, "I'm going to beat you, Jelly, because you're toxic." But after that, then it'll be a fight. Anyway, let's step over to the back lot. Do we have enough room for a cemetery plot here? We got to honor the greatest legend that there ever was. The man who, doesn't wear a watch because he decides what time it is. The man who doesn't turn left because he's always right. The man who doesn't tip the waiter but gets tipped by the waiter.
The man who built the hospital he was born in and drove his mom.
Who destroyed the periodic table because he only recognizes the element of surprise.
I'm trying to think of one. God dang it, I had so many in my head.
The man who beats rock and paper and scissors at the same time. The man who chases sharks out of the ocean when he gets in.
The man the boogeyman looks for under his bed before he goes to sleep.
Yes, the man who doesn't read books.
The man who
stares at them until he gets the info he wants.
The man who doesn't pay at vending machines. He just stares at it until he gets too scared.
Oh, the man whose tears can cure cancer. Unfortunately, he's never cried.
The man
It's
who
Chuck Norris.
makes onions cry.
Yes, it's Chuck Norris, the legend, the greatest. Jesus walked so Chuck Norris could run, all right, guys. And what an icon. And he didn't do a bunch of super famous stuff, but an all around great person who knew all sorts of martial arts techniques. He even invented one. It was like Chuck Kong Do or whatever. Well, I don't remember, but he was very good at so many. He even fought Bruce Lee. I'm sure that he decided to ascend to heaven so that he could just fight Bruce Lee again. But what? How sad is it for the whole world to just lose Chuck Norris at 86 years old? I mean, this isn't. Yeah, I mean, this is more of a loss for us than it is for him. Personally, I'd say because he didn't do a whole lot, but what he did do, he did very well. Walker, Texas Ranger, he did. He was in some movies. But, he was more just impressive and iconic in day-to-day life and the legends that were told about him. And it's sad. It's sad that, he decided to say, peace out, I'm too good for this place. I'm done. I'm accepting the promotion to heaven. See you guys. Austin, what do you think?
Chuck Norris didn't actually die. Having to upgrade their security team.
Exactly. That's pretty much what I was saying, though. Just
yeah,
stealing from me.
but I said better.
I was sort of thinking that he was going to try to pull a Jesus there, die and then rise again on the third day, but I guess he didn't want to copy other people.
Chuck Norris just realized that there was no man left on earth strong enough to challenge him.
There was never a man strong enough to challenge him. He came out of the womb with a fully grown beard.
They had some beef with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, but he can beat Bruce
Lee.
He
ended up winning, but...
Exactly, because Bruce Lee ain't got nothing on Chuck Norris.
There's no one left on earth. He had to go to heaven to find someone strong enough.
Said, hey, Jesus, I want that title match. Maybe Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll can be the opener for Jesus versus Chuck Norris.
Oh, no, I'll fix it later. Anyway, we can continue.
All right. And with that, We must move on to what the world has come to in the wake of Chuck Norris's tragic loss from this earth, such as the live action Moana trailer. You notice how Disney didn't release it until after Chuck Norris was gone? You know why they did that? Because if Chuck Norris had known about this, he would have marched right up to Disney and just kicked down that mouse and given him a beating. Cats got nothing on Chuck Norris. Mice flee at the sight of Chuck. Basically, all I'm saying is the live action Moana trailer is bad. It's really bad. And you know why it's bad? It's not even going to be a horrible movie. It's just going to be a beat for beat remake of the original movie. Like some of these live action remakes you see from Disney, like Maleficent or Alice in Wonderland. There's enough new ideas there. There's enough creative visions. Even Cinderella, for goodness sake. Like those live action movies, I don't love every single one of them. I think Alice in Wonderland was the best because it was serving more as a spiritual sequel to the original than actually trying to be a remake, so to speak. Same with Christopher Robin. But for a lot of these remakes, they're trying too hard to be either beat for beat with the original story, like Moana, because it was made in 2016, 10 years ago. Like it was fairly recently, y'all.
That's 10 years ago already.
10 years ago, yeah. But here's the thing. A lot of the times these live action remakes are Disney's way of saying, hey, we're sorry about anything you were offended about before. You didn't like how Mulan was portrayed? We'll portray her differently as even cooler and more awesome. You think that Ariel's too...
But they got rid of Mushu!
Yeah. You think Ariel's too problematic? A little more... Oh, we'll just make her black so she can't be problematic now. Or... how about this? We'll just take Snow White and just do nothing the same as the original movie. We're not even going to have the dwarves in there. And then they did include the dwarves afterward because of the controversies around not having the dwarves.
Controversy.
I'm not the first king. Controversy. I have the worst thing since Elvis Presley to do black music so selfishly and use it to make myself wealthy. Hey, here's a concept that works. 20 million other white rappers emerge, but no matter how many fish in the sea, it'll be so empty.
Anyway, someone's clearly tired. Let's get back on track.
For goodness sake. Okay, I'm just saying. Look, Disney either heinously... What's the word? They either heinously cut up and mutilate their movie and spit out this live-action remake that's really nothing like the original in the themes or ideas at all, or they go beat for beat with the original because it's already so good it cannot be topped or replicated or remade in any way. Well, same with DreamWorks and How to Train Your Dragon. That movie is horrible. Not because it's a bad story. It's a great story. And they already did it. You're releasing the same movie again. But the fact that you're releasing it the exact same again makes it inherently worse. Because it's not creative. It's basically robbing people blind because you're not tricking them. They know what they're paying for. They're just stupid enough to go watch the same movie again. And they're trying to sell it as this new movie.
The biggest issue is the fact that they're trying to please both sides without being able to, because you have the one demographic who are like, we want representation, we want the new ideas, we want this, that, and the other. So they add it. Then you have the other people like, well, why did you change it? The first was so much better. So they make just a one-for-one remake, just live action, and everyone's like, well, why didn't you add anything new? There's no point in making a one-for-one live action. The original was just perfect.
The problem is partially that familiarity sells. Familiarity gets people back in the theaters much faster than anything else. That's why you see a lot of adaptations and a heck of a lot of sequels. Scream 7, Super Mario Galaxy movie. Heck, I think only one movie in the top 10 highest grossing films of 2025 was not related to some other existing idea, which is really sad when you think about it. Like, book adaptations, I think, are fine because you're taking one storytelling medium and then adapting it into another. But live action versus animated, yes, they are technically different storytelling mediums, but they're still both movies. And you can only have so much difference. So I don't think it counts to just adapt from animated to live action. The only thing I'd be interested in seeing is an animated version of Revenge of the Sith, just made like the Clone Wars. just to see what that would look like with like the Clone Wars voice actors. So like that I would be interested in, but these live action movies, they just got to stop. This Moana trailer, there was nothing new. There was nothing creative. The Tamatoa, they actually included Tamatoa in this movie, and he is horrifying. Do we have an image for that, Austin? Because like
Okay.
I can get one. Tom Toa live action Moana. Okay, so this guy, oh, I don't. Someone thought, hey, remember how everyone hated, just absolutely despised what we did with Sebastian and Little Mermaid? Well, see, what if we
Ugh.
try to fix that? You seeing what I'm seeing? I know, right? I know. Here it is. Here I got it now. But look at that hideous. That like what is this? What is this? See, certain things only work so well in live action. Unfortunately, crabs are not meant to be live action and have personality because as much as one may want to believe that, I'm afraid that I'm just thinking this is horrifying and nowhere near the original Tamatoa. It's much easier, when you don't have to deal with things like biology as much in the animated movies. You could overlook certain things, smooth out certain features, but live action, they expect the things to be realistic. So Tamatoa has to be realistic looking as a crab, but also not too realistic, or there's not going to be enough emotion shown. So no acting against Moana. But it doesn't work with crabs. It really doesn't work with crabs. Fortunately, they're just horrifying to look at as live action animals. So that happened, and also Maui, Dwayne Johnson's Maui again. Everyone's saying that his wig looks horrible. I don't think it looks too bad. The problem is, no matter how much hair he has, I cannot picture him. Like even when I see him with a wig, I'm just seeing him bald. Like my brain naturally is auto editing the hair out, so it's really weird. But also, aside from that, the dialogue that Maui had with Moana in this trailer, it's either the exact same as it was before, or they're just doing it worse. Like Maui, demigod of the wind and sea, hero of men. It was a perfectly nice encounter in the animated movie, but they felt the need to slightly change it to make it feel different. But it doesn't feel different. It feels like the exact same thing, just done worse. So I don't know if you did watch the trailer, but if you did, then I hope you would agree with me that it's not worth it. I mean, it's gonna make $1 billion if I had to guess, but for 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 watching that, I feel like you're selling your soul from a cinematic perspective. You're selling your cinematic soul to go watch this. Like I respect people less from a movie perspective if they're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch live action Moana. Oh yes, I watched the live action Lilo and Stitch. Oh, I loved them. I thought they were great." No, you're part of the problem. You're not thinking critically. You're incentivizing Disney's laziness and telling other studios like DreamWorks that it's a good idea. You just I just said it too well.
Yeah,
That's why
basically.
he's the secretary and I'm the doctor. But believe it or not, that's actually not our main subject. We have to talk about the greatest movie of 2026, possibly a top three movie. No, it's definitely going to be a top three movie for 2026, but it might just be my best movie of the year, Project Hail Mary. I knew that this movie was going to be good because there was a lot of good stuff going into it. You had Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. I think that's them directing it, and they've been behind some very successful things: the Lego Movie, the Spider-Man, Spider-Verse movies, and I think Mitchell's and the Machines, maybe. But yeah, they're generally very creative people, and they actually were fired from Solo, the Star Wars movie, for being too creative and trying to take too many risks with the story. So that tells you how bad Disney is, first of all. But second of all, they
You're
got
too
this movie, and I
creative.
thought, yeah, I just thought them having this movie, it's gonna be good. Okay, it was also based on the it was based on the book Project Hail Mary, same name, written by the same author who wrote The Martian. Do you remember The Martian came out also 11, like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, something like that?
Didn't watch it.
You didn't watch The Martian? Oh well, it's The Martian's really good. the way that they make that movie, it feels like you're watching one of those, based off of a true story movies, but it's not because it's about a guy who gets stranded on Mars. But this author, I forget his name, but he's very good at writing these stories that are so scientifically based, and also these characters feel very real and very human. That like several centuries from now, when people have this kind of technology, if they watch this movie, I would venture to guess that they'll think, "Oh, is this like a documentary movie about what it was like a few centuries ago?" I wouldn't be shocked if that was a thing, because like the technology, the way they explained it all, it's very well done. But I do think the director change is very different because The Martian's director was Ridley Scott, I believe, and that movie was very successful, Best Picture nomination, all the things. But Ridley Scott, he's not especially fun, I guess, because he did like the Alien movies, some of the Alien movies. I think he did the first Alien movie and Prometheus, I believe, or maybe it was Alien Covenant. But he's not exactly known for having the most happy or up tempo movies. He's highly acclaimed for what he's done, but I mean, he made Gladiator and Exodus Gods and Kings and Black Hawk Down. And then he made Blade Runner, actually. Oh, who knew? And Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So yeah, he was responsible for some of the alien stuff. The Martian is one of his best works, I would say. And it's very well done. But what Project Hail Mary has, it's so much more heart. And that heart, it goes two ways. One, it's just the characters are more enjoyable to watch. They're funnier. They're more endearing. I'm more emotionally attached to them than I was to Matt Damon's character in The Martian. But also emotional as in, oh my gosh, they're so sweet. I want to cry. They're just so amazing. And our main character, Ryland Grace, I remember his name, played by Ryan Gosling, who's, got a lot more charisma than Matt Damon at this point, probably. But aside from that, Ryland Grace, he's actually a very interesting character because based on the way the film starts and he has no idea where he is or why he's there, and slowly revealing parts of his past so that we learn with him. At first, I wasn't a fan, but when you get to the end of the movie and his whole character arc over the course of his space time, and also you see it intercut with his character arc, so to speak, his developmental period, I guess, before he goes into space, and you're like, I wonder why they're intercutting, but then when you get to the end, it all ties together. It's brilliant. And it just shows how far he's come on his journey, and also how he probably wouldn't have come that far on his journey if he hadn't had amnesia in the first place. So, happy little accident there. But the Rock character, Rocky, this alien in there, I'm sure you already know about him. Who knew that you could get so emotionally invested in a Rock character alien thing? I mean, it's just...
Abby from Sesame Street did.
No, Rocco is not real. Rocco is not alive. Rocco is a wreck. All right. Yeah, see? You can even do the voice, so you ought to know better than anyone. Rocco is just a rock. Will not be mentioned on this podcast.
Rocco just was.
I will talk about Stranger Things Season 5 before I talk about Rocco. One more time!
Why?
Now.
Sounds accepted.
No. Now, the point is, Rocky, as he's called in the film, or that's like how his name is, because they communicate via echolocation and whatnot, but very, very charming character. I love the bond he has with Grace. It's so good. And he's portrayed by these puppeteers. Like, they got puppeteers in the movie so full of CGI, you would have thought that Rocky would have been like very CGI based, but there was like 5 puppeteers working on him, so the majority, at least, of his scenes are from just a bunch of very talented puppeteers, and it makes it, you're so happy to see it. It's a movie that has great CGI, great storytelling, great directing, great acting, and great puppetry, which you don't see a whole lot. I don't know if it's going to win Best Picture this year. I feel like the Academy wouldn't want to give something so optimistic and happy and emotionally fulfilling as Project Hail Mary that kind of recognition. I mean, come on, we gave one battle after another the Academy Award, and like, did that deserve it? I don't think so. And you know the two winners before, Nora and Oppenheimer, which are actually sort of cynical movies when you think about them, because Oppenheimer's like, I think by creating the atomic bomb we did in fact destroy the world, and Nora's like, yeah, no, this really sucked, and this was a really traumatic event that I went through, and I know that I have some money now, but like, you ruined my life, man. And that's just simplifying it.
Uh,
Nora and Oppenheimer, some of the best movies I've ever seen. It's a shame they had to follow that up with giving one battle after another the Oscar, because Sinners was also really good and deserved the win. And Project Hail Mary, hopefully at least it follows in The Martian's footsteps and gets that nomination. It at least deserves that. I think this could be a dark horse best picture contender. So you got to go watch it, Austin. I'm not going to spoil a whole lot for the rest of the movie, but just promise me you're going to go watch it at some point. At some point.
Maybe.
Fine, I'll take it. Anyway, did you know that Val Kilmer's making another movie?
Who?
Val Kilmer. He's dead.
Oh yeah.
So everyone, have you ever heard of a certain movie called As Deep as the Grave? As Deep as the Grave. A very interesting title, made by someone with a very interesting last name, Voorhees, like Jason Voorhees, I wonder. But here's the premise behind this. Anne Axel Morris. It's a movie about this real archaeologist named Axel Anne Morris, whatever, struggles to be taken seriously as one of the first female archaeologists. She and her husband Earl travel down to the Canyon of Death as they try to piece together what became of the ancient Anasazi tribe. Sounds simple enough, Nice little archaeology film. Nothing too crazy. Doesn't seem like there'd be any issue with it. You know what happened? The only reason that this film is getting the attention that it is now is because of one of the members of the cast, Val Kilmer. Now you may ask yourself, how is Val Kilmer appearing in this movie? He's dead. And to that I say, correct, sir. But for some reason, we thought it was a good idea to use the likeness of Val Kilmer as a character in this movie. Now, Val Kilmer was already cast in the film before he died, but because the film started in October of 2020, and Val didn't die until 2023, was it? Oh, 2025. He actually died last year. Gone too soon. Gone far too soon. Great actor. Really cool guy. But yeah, obviously with him dying, it sort of was a hiccup in the production. So instead of recasting him like anyone else would, they said, hey, what if we just use AI to get his voice and his likeness in the movie? And his family thought this was a good idea and they signed off on it. Even if this is what Val would have wanted, let's just stop and think for a minute about the repercussions this is going to have on the film industry. This is what people have been worrying about for years, that new actors are not going to get the chance to be in movies if the already famous actors who people are familiar with can just be brought back with AI. This is the AI is just, it's so dangerous. Why do we have to keep seeing this in our world? The AI has to take over everything. And it goes back to the familiarity thing, like with the live action Disney movies. People like what they're familiar with instead of having to take risks. Taking risks is important. High risk, high reward, low risk, low reward. But some people just don't care. They would rather avoid the risk. But by avoiding that and going with what's familiar, you get things like the live action Moana and Val Kilmer AI movie. So how do we keep allowing these people to get away with this? Do you have any ideas? I don't understand.
I think it's maybe.
There's got to be money in it. There's got to be some money going to his family's estate. But like,
I mean, it could be possible that there's something much as knowledge. Actors not doing this job. Could just
I guess you could argue that, but like, they got to be paying something for the use of his image and likeness. But all the same, well, maybe, but I don't know. It's in very poor taste, especially with as much controversy, as AI is having. Like we already said before, this is something that a lot of people should be able to unite against. Like even the more liberal-minded individuals are against this
Let the
because
man rest.
what?
Let the man rest.
Let the man rest in peace. Yeah. Like I think most people in general don't want Val Kilmer in this, not because no one likes Val Kilmer, but because they respect him too much to have his likeness trotted out. And that's part of the reason why everyone's celebrating Sora AI. It appears to be shutting down this open source AI type deal. I've never used this, I think. Yeah, it's part of a series on OpenAI. So yeah, I think I've heard of it, but it's a text to video model social media app. So it okay, so it generates videos. Oh, no wonder this is so. Yeah, so a lot of people are happy this is shutting down, and I can see why, because this is like put in a prompt and then it becomes a video. Disney was actually had an agreement to use it, and then Disney just backed out like yesterday of its agreement with them. Yeah, it's coming to an end, and it's continuing nowhere.
They're going to continue working on their robot.
Yeah, but at least Sora's going down. I feel like the ability to make these videos would be just
Sora was
catastrophic.
only one. It was only one of the AI.
Yes, but like
Sora,
it's better to limit its ability and its outreach because just think if you can make an AI video of anything, where is that naturally going to end up going at some point? What's going to be the natural conclusion?
I mean, it's weird down.
Yeah, it's stuff that we don't even want to think about and don't want to see out in the world. It can even be used to smear people and ideas and groups because sometimes people will stop and realize it's AI. Some people won't. No one realized that the bunnies were fake. I thought the bunnies were real, but they were not. I was horrified. It's a very terrible truth.
There's also another movie where they just
So it's very deeply concerning the impact that AI has been having on everyone and everything. It's infecting every aspect of our lives. So the only thing that we can do is try to have jobs that AI cannot replace, which is very hard. I think Daniel said that his college degree was basically useless now because everything he learned can just be done by AI now.
a significant
So unfortunately, it seems that you got to find the stuff that AI can't think of and also robots can't do yet.
I mean, at this point in time, all forms of like graphic and visual design are already AI.
You hear that, kids? You'll not become artists. You'll go become a lawyer or a doctor.
Music, there is a surprising amount of AI things.
Yeah, Daniel was actually really disappointed that he was listening to a Christian AI group.
I found that out not too long ago myself. Actually, I was like,
Yeah,
I actually want to see if these people are doing a tour. I like that it's AI.
it was AI.
And then you have there have been recent anime, like full on anime being written and animated by AI.
Yep. It's gonna make AI is just going to change the world because there are plenty of us who are against it right now and want to regulate it right now. But eventually everyone's just gonna say, screw it, we want it because we want things faster, we want things easier, yada yada yada.
Schools are replacing teachers with AI.
And it's just gonna be really, really bad. So hopefully we're dead before that happens. You think that we can just avoid is there any way for us to avoid the obvious AI takeover that is happening right in front of our faces?
I don't know because there's rapid growth, but there's also the rising hatred towards AI
Yeah, I think the
and it
awareness is
taking
probably
down.
the awareness is spreading, especially as more jobs are taken, which makes more people angry. And more people are ready to get AI
And as,
gone.
and as we have less jobs for people to use,
Yeah.
you know,
It's all a mess. Especially when the population keeps going up. If you keep cutting jobs down, that would be bad if the population was a straight line. But if it's only going to increase, then that's going to basically accelerate this gap by 2. It's going to be 2 times worse because you have jobs going down and people going up.
Prices going up.
Prices going up. See, everything just has to go up except the jobs.
And our wages.
And our wages.
No.
So at least we have one thing that we can all unite on. AI. If we could find a way to like get rid of, if we could just get rid of all AI, do you think that that could actually work?
There's so many jobs.
Like just to get like the biggest people to sign on to it.
Oh,
the politicians and the businessmen. Yeah, unfortunately, I think they're the ones.
How many businessmen are using AI? So then they're not paying employees.
I figure that. And I mean, you know how much I've been desperately trying to replace you with AI these past few months? I mean, they can probably hold a better conversation. But basically,
it would respond with more words. They would be no more useful. They'll be just as dry.
Yeah, very dry and mechanical.
Oh yes, that is a great conversation starter. Here's one way you could think about it. Yada yada yada.
Okay, we've talked enough about your AI prompts, I'm sure. What was I saying before that? I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, basically the point is
we're trying to get rid of AI.
Yes, let's get rid of AI. Oh yeah, I think the governments are going to look at this as another one of those Cold War situations where they have to keep developing the AI because whoever has the most developed AI is going to have the most power. Same with the nukes. And so while we would love it all to go away, it's not all going to go away unless literally everyone makes it go away. And we couldn't do that with the nukes. We're not going to do it with AI. So therefore, it's just going to be a rapid development of artificial intelligence until there is, a hydrogen bomb of AI.
Or until we, literally have literal hydrogen bombs go off across the entire world.
Due to AI. Yeah, I can see that.
Or World War III. The chances that we're going to have more wars because someone made something.
I hope those chances are not high. I'll tell you that.
They're higher than me and you find a girl.
Higher than you. I don't know about me. I mean, I've got the Godzilla shirt now. I am effortlessly charming. And when I tell them that I'm a doctor, they're like, ooh, okay. Yeah, let me get some.
Doctor as the kids use AI for their school.
Let me get some action with that doctor, yeah. Because he can diagnose which of my issues with my father I have.
I'm not gonna make that joke.
Yeah, you shouldn't, because that'd be wildly inappropriate. We don't make those kind of jokes here. I don't know what you're talking about. That's just horrible. I don't know why you would even suggest such a thing. But yeah, in conclusion, basically, the Chiefs are making moves. Are they good moves? Are they bad moves? Are they just leveling out? It's probably on a level right now. We'll see what happens after the draft. Go Max might not happen, but I'm still hoping for him to succeed. Everyone tune into Kit versus Jelly Roll. And don't watch the live action Moana, or I will tell Austin not to ever escort you into my office again. I'll tell him to kick you out, and never let you have another appointment with the good doctor himself. You got that? All right.
All right.
Yeah, come on, run the end credits.
Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Again, do please like it, comment if you would, follow us. It would really help us out. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you then.